All right. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing this evening? Thank you so much for joining Lisa and I. Let me tell you guys who I am. My name is Kelly McCrae. Back in February, I was diagnosed with lupus, and since that time, I have been sharing all kinds of awareness where lupus is concerned. Because the symptoms of lupus are so unpredictable, I was forced to walk away from a 17-year career in real estate. And since that time, I have found that there are other people who had to walk away from their careers in the traditional sense as well because their symptoms or a disability or whatever it was that kept them from doing a traditional 9 to 5. So my guests on this show have found alternate methods of earning an income. So today we have with us Lysa Wright. Lysa is battling lupus, and she's got a pretty phenomenal story of how she had to shut down 2 of her brick and mortar businesses, and she brought her family back from the brink of foreclosure using a method that she works from home. So Lysa, kind of tell us a little bit about your background. Tell us a little bit about these businesses that you had to close the doors on. What happened there?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure to connect with you. I'm so glad it wasn't an accident that our paths crossed. So thank you so much. So basically, my name is Lysa Wright, and about 6 years ago, I decided to follow my entrepreneurial spirit, and I opened two stores. Actually, I started with one, and we grew into two. We had a phenomenal business. It was a little ladies' boutique. We called it Bliss Bling and Sassy Things. We were in a rural community, so I mean, people had no choice but to shop with me, right? But no, it was a great store, and we had fashion and accessories. I made my own candles. We just had a lot of success. Just a creative outlet for me. I love people, so I got to know the people in that town, and I just thought, wow, this is what I'm meant to do. This is my lifelong thing. How did I get so lucky? You know, my children were smaller at the time, and we fitted in perfectly. They went to school. Mommy had her business at the store. And when they got out of school, they came to work with me. And it was just amazing. And then after we grew big enough and we were really, really thriving and we had the success coming, we had the clientele, I opened up a second store. And then we had a hair salon and a tanning business. I continued to do candles, and it was amazing. One day, everything just kind of got turned off, kind of like a light switch is what I tell people. We had some unforeseen circumstances, and some road construction came into the area, specifically right in front of my store. And literally from one day to the next, it was like somebody turned off that light switch. We didn't have a driveway into our business anymore. You really couldn't get in. We had no visibility from the road. I wasn't prepared. We had a landlord that wasn't courteous enough to tell me this was coming. And so I had spent a whole lot of money ordering product, gearing up for summer. That's a big time of year for somebody in a boutique, shorts and flip-flops, cute stuff. So with that being said, we weren't ready. We weren't prepared. I had not got my lupus diagnosis yet. I'll kind of get into that here in a minute. But I knew those bills had to be paid. So I'm trying to save a sinking ship. Customers aren't getting into the business. The revenue's not coming in, but the bills are still coming. Yeah, you know that.
Yes.
The product is coming, the invoices, I've got to pay these bills. So in an effort to save my sinking ship, I had to kind of jump ship and go get a real job outside. So think about that. I've got 3 kids.
Right.
I didn't tell y'all about my sick mom. We'll get into that later. And I had to go get a job back in ophthalmology, working for an eye doctor, what was my original career, so that I could take my checks and give them to the store to pay for product. I had to bring my doctor in to work the stores, and I got really sick. I wonder why. I was stressed.
Yeah. Stress to the max, right?
Yeah. Well, with lupus, and you know more about this than I. Well, you're teaching me a lot about lupus awareness, but with lupus, stress triggers.
Yes.
I had not received my diagnosis yet. All I knew was well, number one, I had a lot on my plate. I'm trying to keep 2 stores afloat. We ended up shutting one down pretty early on, knowing, and tried to keep the second one to keep that one going. I'm working outside of the home, driving an hour into San Antonio in traffic just to kind of have a paycheck come in every week, giving that check to float the business and pay those bills and payroll, and the product coming in, and not knowing why I felt so bad. Aside from just the stress, just the illness that I was dealing with, the chronic fatigue, and all the flare-ups. And I mean, I had inflammation everywhere. You know how lupus works, the asthma.
Yeah, so let me ask you something. Let me interrupt you there.
Yeah,
now,
please.
as you were waiting, is because obviously you did not have your diagnosis. As these things were happening to you, were you writing them off as I'm just stressed out? Or did you really feel that there was something else going on? Because that's one of the things too with lupus, it's very tricky in that, the symptoms could be anywhere. I got a mosquito in here though, whatever, it's a gnat, sorry. But they're kind of all over the place. So we don't always know that we're really sick. Like for me, when joints started hurting, I was like, oh, I'm 46 years old. It's just me getting older. Did you kind of write your symptoms off initially?
Well, I would say both. I knew I was different, and I was trying to pinpoint, was it indeed the stress and the season of life that I was in? But the way everything changed kind of quickly, I wanted answers at the same time. So I was going to doctors and asking them for every single test, and there's got to be something different. Other than the stress, I haven't changed too many other things, and they weren't taking me serious. It took me, if I really think about it, I probably had symptoms for 2 to 3 years before my diagnosis.
Wow.
But
Okay.
I kept, I really thought it's because you bite off more. You always bite off more than you can chew. And,
Right.
the stressors, I kind of gave them a lot of attention. Maybe that's what indeed was triggering some of the things I was having. I tried to do things on my own. Well, let me cut this out. Let me make these radical diet changes. Let me try this. Let me hire more employees to take a day off, and then I'm spending more in payroll. I tried a lot of things on my own, thinking it's just my lifestyle is what I really thought,
Right. Okay.
But when you get pressed into businesses, you don't have a choice, really. You've got to keep going because you've got to pay those bills to keep your business afloat. And if you want to grow, you kind of have to be a little aggressive in ways.
Yeah, and especially if you've made that your full-time income, you left your ophthalmology job, you started these 2 businesses, so you needed this to not only take care of your businesses, but you also needed it to take care of your family.
Absolutely. And you're also in commitment with those stores. You're in a lease. You can't just jump ship when you want. A lot of the big brands that I carried in my store, I had commitments that I agreed to order X amount of dollars a year. I had some big brands in there, and so you have all these legal issues too. You don't close a business down just because you get sick, in a sense. So I didn't really have a way out, even when I did start getting sick. I was forced out with the construction. At that point, I had no choice.
Yeah. So now I want to get into, because you just mentioned that you don't get to just walk away from these businesses. So that brings me to the question about, now that's kind of how your foreclosure action got started, because you were trying to shut down your businesses, no?
Exactly. Yeah, it sounds like you've been watching my Periscopes. Yeah, that's exactly how it happened. So when you close down these stores, you do your due diligence. You've got to close out everything with your entities in your state and your city, and you got to take care of business and clean house, in a sense. You've got to take care of all your liabilities, and that's essentially when I closed my store. I had to liquidate just to pay off the open invoices. So there wasn't any money left when I closed the store. I didn't come out ahead. Some people close and they're like, oh, we closed the store. I walked away with lots and lots of money. That wasn't my case. So I had sent all my paperwork in, telling these entities that I did close my business, and I thought I was good. I did my due diligence, thought I was fine. I didn't, I guess I had some mental fog, some brain fog. I was ready to, exhausted. And I didn't realize that even though I sent those in, you were still liable for that entire tax year on the personal property taxes. I thought it was going to be prorated. I don't know what I thought. I didn't slow down. I was tired. So with that being said, there was a very, very sad day sitting at my kitchen table. with my 3 children, and we were served papers, and they had attached a lien onto our home because of the delinquency and some of those things. And so it was a big mess because, as you know, when you get to that point, there's fees, there's abstract fees, there's attorney fees, there's a lot. And we're kind of skipping ahead to that point. But in that time in between there was a lot more that happened that was.
Well, speak to that. Go ahead and tell us about that so we have the full background and get a full understanding of what you had to deal with so that we can share in the victory of where you are now.
Okay, well then I'll back up. I tend to kind of, for the sake of time, I can give you shortcuts, but if you guys want details, I'll give you.
I jumped ahead because you mentioned that, and I was like, well, I know that's how you ended up with the foreclosure. So I was the one that jumped ahead. So go ahead, back up and give us the rest.
Awesome. Yeah. So, okay. So when I closed down my store, just to try to get away from that business and be able to walk away, at that time, my health was even way worse. I had to stop working that job in ophthalmology. It was to the point where I would come home, sit in the recliner in the living room, and argue with myself, I've got to make my kids dinner. And I didn't have the energy. The mommy guilt would kick in. I felt like I was a horrible wife. I never gave my husband attention. It was all I could do just to get up. And so I had to quit that ophthalmology job. And I wasn't giving that job its due diligence either. I wasn't all there. Even my boss, she was a friend of mine way back, 13 years, knew I was different. Right. And so my husband said, he basically said, if you need to stop working to get you back, then do it. And even though financially we were not in a position, he rapidly saw that I was changing. My personality, the frustration, I was irritable, snapping at my kids for no reasons. I wasn't who I was. It was awful. I was awful. And I can see that now. The guilt was, nobody wants to walk around living in guilt. And I did. So at that time, kind of at my rock bottom, a friend of mine I'm going to kind of jump in how I got into Thrive, if that's okay. Okay. So at that time, my friend had said, well, there's this new product. Why don't you at least try it? I know you don't feel good. You've been telling me how tired you are. And I blew her off. I said, no, I kind of don't want to. And, I've tried other stuff in the past and done some other businesses that not really my thing. And she says, well, you really don't have anything to lose. You really don't. And I kind of looked at her. I thought, I just lost 2 stores. My husband took a big pay cut in his job, and I didn't even throw that in there, but a $20,000 paycheck, that's a lifestyle change. Right. What do I have to lose? So I did. I knew she wasn't going to go away. It was one of those kind of friends, like, she ain't going to stop. Right. I love her to death. She's heard me tell her that story before, so I can say that with confidence. But yeah, so yeah, she knows. But at the same time, I said, okay, I'll try it. Well, with the product, and I'm gonna get in more about that here in a little bit. But about day 4 of me using it, I knew. Am I here? Give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're here.
Oh, okay.
You're here.
I got a little error on my page. But anyway, I knew. Okay, I woke up before my alarm clock. That was kind of odd for me. I didn't want to sleep till noon like I had been. Right. So I was afraid to say anything. I didn't really want to, jinx myself, or I thought maybe it was in my head. You're just wanting to feel better. So I really didn't say a whole lot to anybody. Well, then my sister and my husband, everybody was kind of around. They're like, you're in a good mood today. Did you sleep good last night? You have a pep in your step. And again, I thought, I wonder if it's that thing. I didn't want to tell nobody. So I asked my husband, I was in denial. So I asked my husband if he would try it. And the product I had was formulated for women, and he wanted to make sure he wasn't going to lose any man parts or grow any new, it was hilarious. Because I'm not going to have any man boobs here by taking your product. And I said, I don't know, but will you try it? So, okay. Yeah, that's a little humor there. He loves me, so he tried it. And the day that he tried it, girl, he zipped through this house and got all them honeydews that I had been asking him about for 6 months, I'm sure.
Nice.
Yeah, true story. So he lays in the bed that night and he goes, "Hey, your stuff works." And that's when I was like, okay, so maybe I'm going to get me back. Maybe I'm going to feel good again. And I did. I started feeling great. I felt like, okay, I got laundry done for the first time in 2 years. I was able to dream again, even though we were $8 in the bank account. We were still flat broke. We were getting all these notices. I wasn't paying my bills on time because I didn't have the money. I was having garage sales. I was to the point to where I was even meeting people at gas stations, selling things that I had found just so my husband would have gas money. It was, going to my family and, hey, can we get a little bit for groceries? I was doing everything and anything to get my bills paid.
Right.
And it felt like it went on forever. I want to say we were at rock bottom for 9 months. And when you don't have any money, do you know how long 9 months is?
Girl, wait a minute. Hello. I grew up poor.
Well,
Yes.
I did too, Kelly. I did come from my dad is, an immigrant and we struggle. I grew up poor too, but I guess I'd forgotten. And I had never been in the role of being a mom either. So providing,
Right.
being responsible, it felt like eternity.
Yeah.
So, going back to the home business, my friend, after I had been using the product for a long time, I was probably using the product for 6 months, me and my husband.
Okay.
And we were just getting our product for free because the company is set up to where if you get 2 referrals, you get your stuff for free. And I was happy with that. I was
Right.
at least I'm getting my hookup, right? I didn't really care. I wasn't in the mental mindset yet to think of, oh, could this be a business? But it got me through. It was a good season for me to recover, get my energy back.
Yeah,
I started focusing
right.
on health. So it had a good season. Well,
Now, within this time, Lysa, let me interrupt you again.
Yeah.
Within this time, were you still looking for a diagnosis, or did you get a diagnosis within this time that you started using this product?
This would have been in the fall of 2014. I did not get my diagnosis until March of 2015. So
Okay.
I was feeling better, but I wasn't 100%. This product doesn't cure in any way.
Right.
And it doesn't treat any medical stuff, but I was getting enough to where I felt like I was getting a little bit of me back. And that was good enough from where I came from.
Right.
You're rock bottom, you'll take what you can.
Exactly.
So I still did not get a diagnosis. So I'm still just trying to survive. I'm still just trying to focus on the little piece at a time,
Right.
the finances, just a little bit at a time. It was a process. And I was a lot, I was in victim mode during that time. You know what that,
Yeah.
so there was a lot of things going on up here that I had to, my walls were torn down, everything I knew, my business was a very healthy business and we made, a lot of cash doing, it was a healthy business. I'll put it that way, almost $500,000, a lot. So we lost, It was a huge lifestyle change for us for, no gas money even. So, so as I'm trying to get myself back together, I was sitting back watching my friends who were doing the business side. They were going forward. And I'm sitting back going, they can do it? You're watching.
Yeah.
Well, if they can do it, you're starting
Then I can too.
Dream again. Little small dreams, but I was still in denial, still didn't want to do it. No, my season's over. I was listening to the lies of the enemy, I'll say that. Mm-hmm. And so I just kind of sat back and watched. Well, when I saw how well the business was set up and we have a very generous compensation plan and I started really digging into it, I woke up one day and said, I'd be crazy not to, and so it kind of evolved into a business, but I had no intention of it becoming a business.
Okay.
So fast forward, we made it through that fall. Somehow we had a Christmas. God is good. and we made it through. And I probably went to probably 3 or 4 doctors in that time frame from when it all started to March of 2015.
Right.
And I mean, I thought, okay, maybe it's my thyroid. And I did have some abnormal things in a lot of areas. One thing I also have, and I haven't shared this, is I was also born with a genetic disease, PKD, which is a kidney disease. So there was just a lot of, testing to be done, you know, trying to figure out what was going on. And in March is when I finally got my my official diagnosis.
Okay.
So at that point, my husband already told me I didn't need to work, and I was already loving this product. So I had to figure out how, if I wasn't going to be able to return to the workforce because it didn't make sense for the season I was at with my children, and now a diagnosis. That is when all my light bulbs started going off, and I had to make this work. I already love the product, so why not? I'm watching these girls rock this business, and if they can do it, then I can do it because I love the product. I'd be silly not to at least go forward. So that's kind of how it happened.
Okay. So now this product, which I will tell everybody, Lysa sent me a 10-day supply. Well, initially, she sent me a 3-day supply. I tried it, and I was like, didn't do anything for me. And, you know, and I told her when she sent it to me, first of all, I had gone on a rant on Facebook and on Periscope about people who did not have a diagnosis trying to sell me stuff from their point of view. Oh, I heard that this will help lupus. And I was like, I don't want to know what you heard. I want to know what you did. And Lysa sent me a message, and she says, well, you know, this is what it did for me. It helped, you know, it helped me. It gave me a little more energy. Would love to send you some. She never asked me to buy the product. She never asked me to buy into the company. She sent me this 3-day supply. I told her, I was like, send it to me. I'll try it. If I like it, I'll let you know. If I don't, I'll let you know. Because you guys, you know, that know me know that I don't BS. I'm going to tell it like it is. And so she sent me the 3-day supply, and I was like, did nothing. So she says, well, for me, when it first kicked in, how many days was it for you, Lysa, before you realized it was working?
My aha day 5.
Day 5? Okay. So Lysa said to me, I'll send you a 10-day supply and see what you think about it. And I scoped about this as well. So she sent me the product, and I have to agree that there were a few days that I got up early. That doesn't happen. 9:30, and I force myself up because I Periscope breakfast at 10:30, so I like make myself crawl out of bed. But there were a few days where that didn't happen. But what was my aha moment, and I expressed this to Lysa, was I was working on a few courses that I was going to upload for people to take online, and each day I would get up and I'd be able to do a little bit, then I'd get tired, I'd have to lay down, I'd have to take a nap, then I'd, you know, go back to it, but I wasn't always completely focused. So it was taking me, you know, days to do something that it really should have taken me hours to do. And I sat here one day, I woke up early, I sat here, I did not nap all day. I was completely honed in on what it was that I was doing. And I actually got the course finished and uploaded so that people could actually learn from it. And I was like, wait a minute. I don't understand what happened today. And I looked, and there's she calls it a DFT patch. I call it a vitamin delivery patch. I looked down, and that was what I realized was the only thing that was different. So I like her product too. And no, I am not a distributor for the company, and no, she didn't pay me to say that. But it was part of the reason I wanted her to come on also, is because I got to try her product, and I got to see that it really is a good product. It gave me a lot more energy than I've had in months. So talk to me a little bit more, Lysa, about the product, about what it is that it does and how it works.
Yeah.
And how it can help someone else as well, because our point here is to show other people how they can earn a living without having to crawl out of bed most days.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, this is a direct sales company, and I really didn't understand how they work, but now I see the potential for people exactly in our situation or the season that I'm in. 1 second. Hold on, 1 second.
Sorry. Okay.
The dog out. Go, y'all go.
So I hope you guys are enjoying the information that you're getting so far. But again, our whole point in this is to show you that just because you're not getting up every morning and going into your traditional 9 to 5 does not mean that your opportunities to earn or your opportunities to learn something new have dissipated. They have not. There's plenty of opportunities out there, and that is what I spend my days teaching and sharing, primarily on Periscope and on YouTube, is how to go from coping to cash flow. So I see you're back, Lysa.
I'm back. Thank you. Yeah, and I've learned a lot from you already. I definitely, what you're doing is just amazing for so many people in the season that we're in. So basically, direct sales company, I work with a company called Lavelle, and Lavelle has a product called Thrive. And so Thrive is an easy step 1, 2, 3 system. It's a system that includes vitamins, minerals, probiotics, prebiotics, antioxidants, and just it's premium nutrition is basically what it is. So how it works, 3 easy steps. You wake up. The minute you wake up, you take 2 capsules on an empty stomach. You got to have an empty stomach. You take it. There's purpose in that. 20 minutes later, you drink an ultra micronized lifestyle shake, which is your pre and probiotics. And then you slap on this fun little DFT patch, Derma Fusion Technology. I love your explanation. Same point, right? You wear this patch for 24 hours and you're done. So what I liked about it is I didn't have to remember at lunch to take my vitamins with food or before I went to bed, because let's face it, sometimes you just don't think clearly. Sometimes you forget. And when you're distracted, it's even worse. So that was a big draw for me, the simplicity of the product. It was huge. And the fact that it really worked. What they said, the mental focus, it helps things with, and I'll kind of tell you what it's for, things like digestive support, lean muscle support, the cognitive performance, the mental acuity, anti-aging, weight management. And now when I say weight management, you're either overweight because of the nutrition, or you're underweight because of nutrition. So this fills your body, your nutritional gaps. Some people are underweight and some people are over, just depending on their nutrition. So when it says weight management, that doesn't always mean weight loss. So keep that in mind. And joint support and appetite control. So for me, and again, I don't make medical claims because you've got to clear the product with your physician based on your body. And I did do that. My doctor said this was great for me. My body needed the B12s and the B6s and he loved it. So for me, I got clearance. I would also recommend anybody who's curious to get clearance as well, because we don't know your body. But the premium nutrition was exactly what my body needed. And I've shared it with lots of people and they've responded well. But the mental focus and the energy were spot on for me. So, I mean, that's my 2 favorite things.
I have to agree with you on that, because for me, again, once I realized that I had actually sat down for an entire day and gotten, everything, my videos edited and, the text portion of it done and the graphic work. I mean, like, seriously, when I realized that I had been awake all day, and that for me has been, I mean, since before I got this diagnosis, to be awake all day has been a challenge for me. So I have to agree that I felt like the product worked too. And that was the only thing that was different, if you will, from one week to the next week. So I have the mental clarity for somebody who's called a hurricane is huge. So now tell me, you've taken this, you've turned it into obviously an income for your family, and this is how you took care of your foreclosure, your family. Tell me a little more about how that's worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I didn't get serious till I'd already been using the product 9 months. I kick myself now because I wasted all that time that I could have been building. But when I decided I can do this, I can make this into a money-making opportunity. They set up the groundwork. They have a great compensation plan. I basically just followed their lead. I just started sharing the product. Not so much trying to sell product to people, because let's face it, people don't want to be sold stuff.
Sure.
But they just don't. And I didn't either. I avoided my friend for a while. I didn't want to be sold anything either. But
I have to be honest with you. I hate to interrupt you. Let me interrupt you one more time. I have to be honest with you. What made me really kind of what endeared you to me is the fact that even still after me telling you that it's worked for me, you still haven't tried to sell me the product. You're right that people don't want to be sold. Part of my angst when I was ranting was that everybody was trying to sell me something. You go a lot further if you're come from a sincere spot. And that's kind of how when you introduced it to me, you were like, I'm looking at your scopes, I'm looking at the days that you're tired, and I'm in your support groups, and I hear the things that are going on with you, and I just want you to feel better. And that coming from someone else who was battling the same disease that I'm battling meant a lot more to me than somebody in my inbox trying to sell me something.
Yeah, absolutely. And that has been my approach with everybody. I watch other people with direct sales and even people within our organization. And I guess my heart is a little different based on, I know the struggles in financial and the health. I get it. And so what I started doing first was just finding the people that were struggling in the same areas as me, the tired, even if they didn't have an autoimmune disease, the ones that were walking around with energy drinks, the ones that were caffeinated all day. If we look around, there's our target. And am I allowed to say they're poisoning themselves? Because, Lord knows not to make any attacks here, but some of that stuff is not good for you.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I started. I just started trying to share with people that I knew would benefit from the product. And then little by little, your team grows. And then the product, because the product works, by default, it turned into an income. Because when people start feeling good, they want it. They're going to share it with two people so they can get their product for free. They're going to start telling they're going to get their husband on it. They're going to start sharing it. And so just by taking that method, finding people that could benefit, we just shared it. I don't hesitate to share a sample because, you people need to try it. We need to make sure they like the shake. We need to make sure it fits into their morning routine. So I'm a little bit more giving in that way where I will let people sample it, because if somebody would have came to me and said, I want you to fork over some money on a product you've never tried and something that you never know, I wouldn't have been able to do that last year or 2 years ago because I just didn't have it.
Right.
I just didn't have it. As simple as that. So little by little, I say Noah's Ark. 2 by 2, I just kind of brought people in, and it just kind of grew from there. So I have been able to hit some little milestones or some ranks. We were able to earn our Mercedes through our company. We got a Mercedes. So think about that, from foreclosure to luxury. It's kind of surreal on some days.
Yeah.
The company is set up where once you hit a certain rank, it's called 12K. It's the second rank in the company. I don't know another company that gives you a car at your second rank, but we do. And I was able to get rid of my Yukon car payment, and that Yukon cost me a pretty penny every month. It was a big car payment. So I got to trade that car in once I hit my auto bonus. And with our auto bonus, we had the choice of getting a Lexus, Mercedes, BMW, or a Cadillac. And I chose the Mercedes because it was the right price. And I actually walked out of that dealership making money on a car, which was a blessing in disguise. Nice. So yes, we lost a car payment. And I do get paid every Tuesday with Lavelle. So that's been nice that I make enough now. In addition to the car payment, I make enough now to take care of groceries, gas bill, and we're a family of 7, so think about what my grocery bills probably run.
Yeah, nice. Okay, and now you use this and you recently just finished this payment that kept you from going into full foreclosure. Talk to me about that a little bit.
Yeah, so this happened 2 weeks ago. It was kind of recent. We get paid on Tuesdays, and I had my commissions had came in, and I was still trying to take care of the property taxes, and my eyes bawling. I'm sitting in the tax office. I got my commissions had just hit the bank, and I was ready to get that paid off. So I scoped it. You challenged me and I did it. And it was hard for me to share that. Number one, I didn't want people to know. I was almost embarrassed of the debt. But I shared it, and I walked into that tax office, and that was probably the proudest moment that I've had since this whole ordeal, over 2 years now. And when I wrote that check and I knew it was paid in full, I made that lady write paid in full on my receipt just so I could feel good. But we were finally able to take care of that. So all the all the liens and everything associated with that fall off. So
Nice.
that is what this company has done for me. It's given me not only my physical, I'm me again, I have energy, but the finances, I dream again, I'm inspired. I was afraid to dream. When you lose everything, you're gun shy. You are so timid. So it gave me more than just cash flow. It gave me more than just that Mercedes in my driveway. It gave me more than just paying off some debt. I mean, I got a little bit of me back. I'm a dreamer, but I had stopped dreaming after I lost everything.
Yeah, and I can see how that could happen. I mean, it's like, okay, it's what seems like a hopeless situation when you've gone from baller to broke, so to speak.
Very quickly. Very quickly. Yes. If I could have done it in stages, I probably could have acclimated better. But, I was sitting there trying to figure out free lunch for my kids. I went from one extreme to the other, just to make ends meet. And it was humbling. I'm glad I went through it. People always ask me now. I've developed, I've grown. I'm a lot more grateful. A lot more grateful.
Yeah. Now you mentioned, and I want to go back to this a little bit, just because you talked about how it was pretty embarrassing, for you, that you didn't really want to talk about this. I want you to go back to the day that the foreclosure letter was delivered. And I want you to tell us about that, because if I recall correctly, one of your children thought you were getting ready to get arrested.
They did. It was, I think about it now, and the, children are innocent. They don't know. And why in the hell do they have, pardon my language, why do they have constables serve these notices? What the heck is that? It can just be any random dude. It doesn't have to be a constable.
You're like, it just needs to be some random chick that shows up and rings the bell.
A letter is a letter. It could be certified, right? A letter is a letter. I joke about it, but it was humiliating. And I'm gonna try not to cry, but it was around Christmas time when we got served, December. So I was already struggling with how we're gonna do Christmas. And it was early morning when the constable showed up. I mean, I think we were just finishing up breakfast. I didn't even have, I was still in my nightgown. So I made my husband answer the door when they showed up. And they wouldn't talk to my husband. And Jerry knew it was serious. He says, they won't talk to me. They want you, and you got to go out on the porch. So you can imagine the atmosphere in the room with my 3 kids at the table.
Yeah.
So it was a personal business with with Lisa Wright is what they wanted to talk about. So when I went out there, and, the intimidating letter was there with all these big words that I didn't understand. And I came back in, I was trying to keep myself composed because my 3 kids were at that table, and they were asking questions. Who was that, Mommy? What was that? Why were they here? And I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. Mama's got to take care of some business. And then one of my kids just straight up said, are you going to go to jail? And I lost it. That was because I wasn't going to go to jail. But when these kind of family issues, I know there are a lot of things that burden families, but I'm going to tell you, debt is a really, really big one. It affects so many things. And if you don't think it's affecting your children, it is. It is. And it did. They knew we were crunched. They were in the car those days that Mommy had to go get gas money at a gas station because I was selling some of their toys, or because I was selling one of their iPads. They knew.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a tough spot to be in. And I'd like to be able to say that I can't relate, but unfortunately I can.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I wanted you to go back to that, because, it really does show kind of the depth of where you brought your family to using this business. And I know direct sales companies, they get a lot of, a bad press, but partially because a lot of the reps don't necessarily know how to properly present their product. Like you said, people don't always want to be sold. I met a young lady in the grocery store the other day because she just randomly stopped and started a random conversation. And just based on her demeanor, I knew she had a product to sell. I knew she was trying to recruit because, you know, and I talked to her, but I was like, I've got my own business and, you know, and on and on. But, you know, so that direct sales get a lot of bad press because of showing up in your inbox, trying to sell you stuff that you don't,
Sure.
you know. So I love the approach that you have. And I love the fact that you're doing it the right way and it's growing and it's really making a difference for your family.
Yeah, and I'd like to touch on that if you don't mind. Are you okay if I kind of highlight what you just said?
Go
So
for
you're
it.
right, because I had an idea or a concept in my mind about direct sales. I did. And so just to kind of what I have learned by doing direct sales is you're basically representing a product and taking the middleman out. Like for instance, can we use GNC for an example? They sell they sell supplements and vitamins.
Right.
So instead of going to GNC to buy this nutrition, you get to buy it from somebody that is going to be able to tell you about the product. They're going to be able to share a little bit more with you. They may even let you sample it like I do. GNC is not going to let you sample it. So a lot of people are nervous about big direct sales because of, you know, I've heard things, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. And no, what a pyramid scheme is when you give money for something and you get nothing in return. You get nothing tangible. That's a pyramid scheme. If somebody's trying to take money and you're not getting something in exchange, girl, you better run because that's a pyramid. This is not a pyramid. You're just choosing to take that middleman out. You're not buying from GNC. You're going to have somebody that's going to follow you through your experience. They're going to check in on you. They're going to want to know if it's working. They may let you sample product, answer questions, or guide you. So that is a misconception that I had to learn what a direct sales company was. And the fact that everybody that I help bring into this organization, A, I'm either helping them physically through nutrition, or B, I'm helping them also make money, you know, depending on how they want to come into the business. So now I'm helping enrich other people. And in return, I get rewarded on their efforts. I get compensated on their efforts. So, I mean, it for me, I had to learn about direct sales because I kind of had some of the same misconceptions too. I kind of wanted to run because you all hear about those other companies. They're out there and there's some bad ones and there's some great ones.
Yeah.
Really great ones.
Yeah. Well, the direct sales thing for me wasn't so much that, I mean, because I knew how it worked. And I tell everybody, you know, the concept of MLM or multi-level marketing is a very good concept. The problem with it, though, was that people didn't know how to properly do it because it's a business like any other business. And you can't spam people, so to speak. You can't run them down in the grocery stores and in the bookstores. And
there's a way to do it. There is
exactly. And that to me is really where the issue was happening. So when I look at direct sales and I think about derogatory stuff, it's not that I ever thought it was a pyramid scheme because, like you said, there's something there. So it's not, and pyramid schemes are illegal. And as big as these names are in these companies, there's no way that, you know, that Mary Kay is a pyramid scheme because that's an MLM, or her business would have been shut down a million years ago. And we know that's one of the oldest. Yeah, you know, so that's one of the oldest direct sales companies. But, you know, but again, I love the way that you do things. And so that really kind of made me a little more receptive to what it is that you had to share. One, because you're battling the disease, and two, because your approach wasn't salesy at all. So, you know, there's a lot to learn from someone who is doing direct sales the right way. And just to put this plug out there so you guys know, Lysa is always willing to grow her team.
I want to help others live the life they deserve, whether that's financial or physical. And if that's what I can do, and I can support my family by doing either of those things, and I in return am getting my product, then I consider that a win-win for sure.
Yes. And she's willing to share. I mean, because that was a thing too that I kind of said to her when she sent me the 10-day supply. I was just like kind of blown away by that because, you know, that's money out of her pocket. And she explained to me, she says, well, let me explain a couple of things to you. She says, one, my product is free to me. So I sent you my free product. And she says, and once I send you this free product, there is a way for you to set it up where if two people try it, you also can get your product for free. And I was like, product for free? Talk to me. So tell us about that, Lysa.
Yeah, no, this is Lavelle. Lavelle gets the credit on this. They are the ones that set up this program. Something that they do unique that no other company does is they give their customers and their promoters, depending on how you want to enter into the Lavelle, the opportunity to get your product for free after you share this product with 2 people who order through your site. Because anybody that creates an account, whether they're a customer or a promoter, if they share that little link with their friends and family, then they can get their product for free. And not another company set it up that way. It's genius. It's a brilliant platform because they're going to feel something. I don't know what their experience is going to be, and I can't tell them what day their experience is going to be. Everybody's body is different. But when they feel that their youth back or that energy back, they want it. And they're going to share it. I mean, 2 people, you think about 2 people in your friends and family list that are living on energy drinks and coffee, just that alone, not the rest of the stuff.
And especially Starbucks coffee, that's highly overpriced. So
yeah.
if you could afford Starbucks coffee, for sure you could afford this product.
Yeah, our product runs about $5 a day, and that's for all 3 steps. That's your shakes, your capsules, and your DFT patch. And so, yeah, $5 a day. I don't go to Starbucks anymore because I don't need any caffeine. But my kids like that Tutti Frutti, decaf, whatever. $5 a pop for those things. I mean, for not even for the big one. So yeah,
I'm gonna have to find a healthy way to make those and show you how to do those at the house.
Yeah,
so they still get it, but it's a higher nutrition.
Yeah, there's a topic for you. I'd definitely tune in for that one because the kids like it. It's a treat for them. But yeah, so it's Lavelle. They get the credit. They actually have a very rewarding compensation plan. And not only do they reward their promoters, but they reward their customers. So our CEOs are brilliant. I mean, a car bonus at your second promotion, free product. We love the free platform. It's really
and enough money to pull you out of foreclosure.
Enough money, yeah, and paying off. Yeah, that's amazing. Another thing, I just came back from San Francisco. I don't know.
I was going to get on that. Yes.
Yeah. So not only did I went from no gas money, $8 in my bank account at one point. I mean, I'm not going to get teary-eyed, but just rock bottom financially. Since I started making this a business, I've been on lifestyle getaways. Cabo last October, paid for in full by Lavelle. Did not even have to tip if I didn't want to. The little pool guy bringing my little margaritas. I mean, it was all inclusive. And I got to that trip last October in Cabo and cried because we had not been able to ever take a vacation like that. It was amazing, amazing. So I went from getting to take lifestyle vacations. I'm recovering from debt. I've only got a couple things left to pay for. And the day I do that, y'all will know we're going to have a virtual party if we need to. The car, I lost a car payment, the weekly checks that I get on Tuesdays. And premium nutrition, lifestyle vacations, money. I mean, it was a no-brainer for me. It has been the answer to all them prayers and all them tears that I had when all this fell down, for sure.
Nice.
Life-changing product for me.
Very awesome. Now, Lysa mentioned something earlier in the program, and I'm going to kind of touch a little bit on that. She said that she was challenged to share her story, that she found it a little embarrassing, and she really didn't want to do this. Now, let me tell you guys how that came about. What had happened was Lysa came across me in one of the support groups that I admin, and we just kind of hit it off. We have a lot in common, and we started chatting, and she found out that I am teaching people how to go from coping to cash flow. And so she paid for some time to consult with me, and she didn't know this was going to happen, but she wanted to figure out, how she could use social media to really kind of help bring her, kind of get her story out there and kind of help get her some more business. And she expected me to just kind of say, oh, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. What she did not expect me to do was give her a homework assignment. And what I did was I challenged her to get on Periscope for 30 days and tell her story, to be what we call real and raw. And she was like, well, I really haven't told a lot of people this story. And I was like, not my problem. That's the assignment. And she has stepped to the challenge and she has told her story. And look at how compelling this story is. You know how many people that you're able to help with just the story, Lysa, seriously.
I hope so. I hope so. You are helping me embrace my story. I told you I was a little embarrassed, and I mean there's family members that don't know everything about our story, so they're gonna have to watch Periscope if they want to know. No, I'm just kidding. But it's really helped me in more ways than I realized. And I told you, hey, if I would have known you were gonna give me homework, I wouldn't have paid for that consult, girl. It was money well spent. But it was well worth it. But yeah. Thank y'all for telling me that. I hope that I can help somebody with wherever, whatever season they're in. I hope that I can inspire someone.
Absolutely. Well, you're definitely an inspiration to me, because I'll tell you, walking away from 17 years and there are days when I'm just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because, like you said, the bills keep coming. But we rally, and we're believers. I tell everybody, I'm a Jesus girl. I know that you are as well. And so exactly. So God will provide, and we're out here to tell the story alone, and for people to be able to see that we are doing the best that we can, battling an illness that is very unpredictable from day to day. You don't know. I mean, you've had a few days since you've been scoping where you were just like, okay, I got to go to bed. I'm just drained, and I just can't take another step. So, we have those days. So to be able to get out here and share and show people that the diagnosis doesn't define you. There's still ways to earn. There's still ways to still be a viable person in your home. And, and it just is what it is. So we just got to find a different way. We just have to take a different path.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I could not imagine, because even with this, I call it my super patch, even with my patch, there are days that I have flare-ups. There are seasons that I'm in a bad place and I'm still tired. I took a nap today, true story. Even though I'm a thriver, my body's not like the next person who doesn't need a nap. I still struggle in areas. But, it is definitely something that I know that I could not commit to work for somebody 40 hours a week and be at my best. They're not going to get the old Lysa that I used to be. I'm going to need a break. I'm going to be more tired. I'm not going to be spot on. So how nice is it that I can work this business from my cloud office, from my virtual world, messaging people at the grocery store if I want. I won't hit people up like that girl hit you up. But, if somebody wants to know they saw my patch, I'm going to tell them. And, I'm sitting here and like, look at me, I'm in my day-to-day clothes. I'm working my business in a t-shirt. Who gets to do that? So
exactly.
It's a perfect fit.
Other people like us working from home in my t-shirt.
I love it. Yeah, we don't have to be. I know I went from having a fashion boutique to t-shirts and yoga pants now. It's crazy, but I love it. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Lysa, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping up here because we're just about down to our hour. I want to say I appreciate you for being here. Your story has just been compelling to me. It's been inspirational to know that, in such a short span of time, you were able to really turn things around for your family. And so, guys, I have a link, which I think Lysa actually is going to share with you guys. So I liked her product. If you all want to give it a try, Lysa is amazing. And I don't know if she'll share samples with everybody, but if you go to my link and you sign up, if you end up getting something, then it would help me get free product. But I'm not a distributor. I'm just the person that enjoyed the product. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So because you're a customer, 2 referrals, and we want to help you get your product for free, for sure. So if anybody is curious and they want to take the Thrive experience and they want to commit to getting the product, we don't know what day it'll be, so it's best to just go ahead and take it the way you're supposed to. 3-day sample can be a tease, but if you need to do that, visit with me, connect with me. But if you guys want to go to her site, and notice K is capital, case sensitive. If you guys want to go to her site and create a free account, or just kind of hang out there and watch the video, or maybe you have more questions, Get with Kelly or get with me, and I can answer those questions. My name's Lysa Wright. Find me on Facebook. You can private message me, and I can give you more product information or questions. But we definitely want Kelly to get credit because we want to help her get her stuff for free. Because there is that free platform, we want to help her. We want to help her get that. And then we can help you. And then if they sign up, we'll help them get their product for free, which is even
exactly. Exactly. We'll pay it forward for sure.
That's how it works with this business. You always pay it forward. Always, always.
Awesome. Well, Lysa, thank you so very much. I am going to, thank everybody that has shown up here to watch. There will be a link for replay. I will be back here again next Monday. No, that's not true. Next Monday is the 4th of July. So I will not be here. Yes, next Monday is the 4th of July. So we will not be here. But the following Monday on the 11th, y'all better be here. I got somebody that's going to, she is a marketing genius. And she is running her business from home. And the girl is a rock star. And so you don't want to miss her. She is not battling an autoimmune issue, but she is a young woman. And when I say young, like she and my daughter are the same age. And the girl is hitting it out of the park. So if you are interested in a marketing business and still a good story, because y'all know I got to have a good story. Please be back here on the 11th. But y'all know I'm going to bug the crap out of y'all on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, all of those places. So you'll be hearing from me before her show happens. But anyway, so I appreciate everybody for being here. You guys have a phenomenal rest of the evening. Thank you. Lysa, hold tight. Absolutely.
Bye.